It just went live. Hey everybody, how you guys doing? I
Hey.
feel like it's been a while.
No, it's been a while. It seems
It
like
yeah,
it has
it's been a while.
been a very long time. So this is an impromptu. Obviously, there was no announcement
Nope.
of this live.
Mm-mm.
That kind of seems to be the calling card of our lives right now. We kind of just shoot from the hip a lot sometimes these last several months.
The entire marriage.
Not an entire marriage. We plan some stuff.
Well, no. Well, what I'm saying is like I do feel like you know, we do some of our best work when we usually start new things kind of on the fly. I think it's what you were trying to say.
Okay.
You know.
Well, first of all, Happy New Year. A whole month later. We know we haven't really reached out this whole, well, not this whole year. The year just got in here,
Mm-hmm.
but like I said, we had a lot of projects going on last year and planning for this year. And we do have plans to do some new things here on the channel. We already started with a 24-hour live stream. I hope everyone is enjoying that. Let us know what you think. Are you enjoying it? I'm also curious of things that you might want to see from us.
Yep.
We
We know
are,
that they want to see from you.
well, I know. We are working on developing some new content for the channel. Um, Even though we are marriage ministers and that is our foundation, that is our core, but there are other things that we like to explore and
Mm-hmm.
talk about, share a little bit more on the creative end of our lives because we're both creative people and we have interest in a lot of
Yeah.
things and we want to share those things with the underlining what's what I'm looking for goal to build strong relationships,
Mm-hmm.
because that's always going to be our focus. Because we believe God has called us to help people have strong relationships in every area of their lives, not just marriage. So yeah,
Yeah. Let's talk about ourselves a little bit. Like, what you been up to? What have you been up to,
I
Casey?
have been up to
Yeah.
mommying. My
What's that like?
JJ is now 17 months, going on 18,
Mm-hmm.
and it has been a ride. It really has. And I've actually been really enjoying being a mom, being a full stay at home mom. That's really new for me. Um, this has been a full year now and some change that I've been home. I
Yeah.
have not been in the studio working behind a chair, doing hair, doing makeup, or anything like that. So it has definitely been a big transition for me. But I have embraced it and I really am having a good time. I mean, I have my days. They're not all perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I have my days. All you moms, parents out there, I know you can relate to what I'm talking about. Um, but I consider it a blessing and an honor to be able to do that,
Yeah.
and not feel like I have to go out there and work and provide or anything like that. And God has really blessed us. And yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's just been since having JJ, it's been a very busy and new
Yeah.
kind of experience time
Yeah.
for us. And I think that's when we stopped uploading like newer videos consistently. With right around the time we are getting towards the end of your pregnancy. So I mean, we're here, and as far as this live chat, we just came out of nowhere with it. And hi everybody who's in the chats and comments. Yeah, leave comments. Let us know who's watching, where you're watching from. We know we have a whole lot of new
Hello.
subscribers, new family friends. So
Yes, welcome
please.
to the family. Like, oh my gosh, sometimes I feel bad. Please believe we think about the family friends
Mhm.
all the time. It's not a day goes by where we're not thinking about you all. And that's one reason why the live stream came to be. Of course, the Holy Spirit, He really led us to do it,
Mhm.
but it really was a way just to stay active and to always having content for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. But we do think about you guys all the time because we don't ever want you all to feel like we're doing this for the views. We're doing this, to be popular. It is not any of that whatsoever. Everything that we do, we really try to be led by the Spirit of God to do it because we want it to be effective. So when we get comments or testimonies from individuals on how our stuff has helped them, it blesses our heart so much. Because we're just regular people that found ourselves in a not so unique situation. I'm just going.
Oh yeah, wasn't that unique, was it?
And we just
Talk about that
want,
another time.
yeah, we just wanted to share what we believe Lord has, showed us about marriage and relationships. And so yeah, we consider it an honor and blessing for anybody to tune in to what we're saying. If it's one person, two people, it doesn't matter how many, because what we realize is that we're not owed
An audience.
An audience. We're not owed an audience. We don't. God didn't say, "Oh yeah, you got to have an audience." So having 1 or 2 subscribers, we're happy as if we had 2 million subscribers. Because again, we concern ourselves with the quality of what we put out, and I say the quality, not so much the production value, but making sure that what we are teaching is accurate to the best of our ability, and it speaks to the heart of people.
I think that's what made it so hard to kind of keep uploading, because we got so busy with JJ and with the house. Yeah, the house is newish, I guess. Newish house, and
over a year now.
Changes with work and job. Just all these life changes, and we're constantly talking about new videos or new concepts, new shows we want to produce and everything. But just not feel like you have the time to really invest in it to make it really good. So after a lot of back and forth, we finally decided, it'd be a lot easier if we just did live drop-ins.
Yeah.
We could talk, because we're constantly talking with each other, marriage concepts.
We have content for days, y'all. We have conversations for days. If we could talk about.
Okay, don't get in trouble. She said you at work. Don't
get in trouble.
But
thank you thank you, though. Thank you.
Thank you. And tell us where you guys are at. You guys, I know, all over the world, different time zones watching. For us on the East Coast, it is 9 after 9 p.m. We just put JJ to bed, so you get to be we call it being single again. When your kid's not around, you're single as a married couple.
I don't know.
But anyway, no.
Unless he decides to wake up in the middle of the night.
That happens every now and again. He senses something's going on. He's being left out. But no. So we figured live drop-in. So we're going to do these more often, and sometimes I think we'll try to announce them in advance so people can schedule and tune in, all that kind of stuff. But we think it's probably the easiest way, least stressful way for us to continue, for you guys to see us as we are now. Because a lot of times, one thing I realized was, hey Jamaica, one thing I realized was that we have been consistently releasing shorts, YouTube shorts and short-term form videos, but from older videos we've done. And what I realized was it was starting to make people think that we were doing it right then and there. Yeah. And they were like, "Oh, you guys look this way or that way." And I'm like, "Okay, hold on. These are older videos." So this is what we look like in 2022 right now. I personally look a little rough. I haven't had a haircut in a few weeks because we've been snowed in.
Yeah.
In Virginia.
I mean, it's like, if you don't get to the barber in like the next 10 hours, he's gonna be a whole sheep. I'm actually going tomorrow. But yeah, we've been snowed in for a while, and so I haven't been able to do that. So I look a little rough, but this is more or less what we look like on a normal day in 2022. Yeah, I look at some of the episodes and I'm like, whoa, that's when I was pregnant, and my face was just like all round, and I was all like puffy, and then my hair was all different, and but
no, so yes, we're gonna do a lot more of these. You guys can interact and leave comments and all that stuff. And I'll mention this because there are new features and things that YouTube has made available to us because of the fact that so many of you guys have subscribed and things like that. There's this thing, and I'm still learning it all. It's called Super Thanks that you can do while you're in a live chat, which is actually giving money to the person that you're watching and saying thanks and all that kind of stuff. So that actually is available in the comments. I've never done it before, but it is there. And there's some other features and things too. There's channel memberships that we haven't turned on because we haven't figured out exactly what we want to do yet. But like Cacie was saying earlier, give us ideas. If there's something that you guys want to see more of, and a lot of you guys even asked to see more of JJ. A lot of you guys have asked for beauty tutorials from Cacie. A lot of you guys have for a lot of things, and we're watching and keeping track of all that stuff because we really want to, do some of
we
these
put
things.
a poll out not too long ago about me doing makeup tutorials because a lot of you have commented on my makeup and things like that, and some of you know that I am a makeup artist. I still am. It's hard for me to even label myself anymore because I haven't done it in over a year now. But I'm a licensed cosmetologist for over 18 years, and I've been doing makeup, and I've done fashion shows and stuff. I mean, I've been in it for a long time, and I really do love makeup. But I'm not a person that wears it all the time anymore like I used to, and life and things. But I really want to get back into teaching because I love to teach. That's really my heart. And so we put a poll out, and a lot of you responded. And honestly, I was like, why they responding?
I've been wanting her to do stuff like this for a while because I just like Cacie's perspective on makeup, especially on YouTube. There's a lot of beauty influencers and things like that, but your perspective has always been interesting because you're someone who enjoys the art of makeup, but you're not obsessed or with makeup in the sense where you feel like you have to have it on all the time. You're not ashamed to show your face without makeup. And so you've always had the most interesting perspective on makeup to me because the style of makeup you do isn't kind of the more over dramatized stuff that a lot of people who aren't familiar with makeup kind of push away from. So, I don't want it to look like that, but you don't do it like that, And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really cool when you do.
Yeah, so we're working on figuring out exactly how we want to put that out there. I have some ideas, so just stay tuned and look out for all those things because it is coming. We don't have a nailed down date yet, but it is coming. It is on the calendar. Well, it's on the vision board. It's on the board of things to do. Along with that, there's other different things. Last year, I published my first book, How to Be Single and Happy. Thank you all for those of you who downloaded the book. Thank you so much. And those of you who left a review, if you have not downloaded the book, you need to go get the book. Like it's 15 pages, I believe.
I don't remember, but yeah.
It's a really short book. It's really short, but it's so powerful, so awesome. And I'm also planning on doing some book talks about the book and really go into intricate details and share more things that I did not put in this version of the book.
Well, yeah, but if you want to get to it, I actually put it in the description of this video, jalenandcacie.com. Go there to our website. Sign up for our mailing list while you're there. But if you scroll down, you'll see the book. And you can get it either on Amazon, so you can read it on like a Kindle device or your phone, or you can get the PDF version straight from the website. So those are both there on jalenandcacie.com. So just head there and you get the book. How to Be Single and Happy is a great, great book. I've read it many times. And it's really good, really informative. It teaches a lot. And all the reviews we've gotten have been very positive. Yeah. We probably will start sharing some of those reviews from the people who have read it. So you should read it and go give it as a gift to someone else. I think through Amazon, you can actually buy books and send it as a gift because it's an ebook. It's a digital book, not a physical one. And it'll be really great for you to read that.
Yeah, and we would work on it at some point so it can be a physical book, but doing it digitally was the quickest and easiest way just to get it out there. Yeah. But it's out there, and you guys, more stuff to come. We are still a work in progress. We are still learning along the way. Again, we're not trying to focus on the fancy, frilly stuff. We just want to get the word out there because once it's out there, words are seeds, man. And I want people to really be able to just grab hold of their life and live it to the fullest and be happy and be successful and be the best they can be. And I let God take care of all of the stuff. Yeah. Just be obedient.
Yeah. But like I said, we're going to do more of these, and we'll talk about personal stuff, things going on in lives, life updates, answer some of your guys' questions. I know there's going to be questions.
What have you been up to? You asked me.
What I've been up to? I feel like we've been up to the same stuff. Having a son, having a little boy that changes every single day. It's just the most amazing, beautiful thing. And I was at work, she was home, and I'm just texting her. I'm going back through old pictures, of when he was born, and just be like, we love this boy so much. And he's a handful, but he's got so much energy, and he's so talkative. It's just, runs all over the place, and people just fall in love with him. Strangers. People just give him stuff. He's got a blessing on him, because I tell you.
Thank you.
But thank you so much. So we'll have to bring JJ in. But if we bring him into a live chat, he's going to take over the whole thing.
Exactly, because he loves seeing himself in the camera. Yeah. He's definitely.
And when he hears us talking, he wants to talk louder than us. Exactly. He's going to start shouting. So the day we bring him on, he's going to take over the whole thing. I'm sure you guys will love it.
He probably needs his own show, the JJ show, or something
exactly.
like that.
But boys ball of energy. So I think that's probably the biggest change. But no, I mean, I would talk about work life too much and things like that. But there's a lot of changes there, a lot of good things. Being active with our church, we got things to share there too. I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but we'll come back and share with you guys some announcements there with our church, Rapture Ministries. But so just basically the thing to know from us is we're here. We're active. We're actively thinking about you. We're actively thinking about this YouTube channel. Also our Instagram and our TikTok. We're there too. So
if you don't follow us on TikTok, go on TikTok. TikTok is blowing up, you guys. It's crazy how TikTok is really blowing up, and so we just try to be on every platform that we feel is beneficial. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, Jalen's not a social media guy. Yeah. He really doesn't like it, but because we're on it, so you won't find him on TikTok. Besides Jalen and Cacie, you won't see him on TikTok.
Well, I actually do have one with some of my workout videos, but I haven't uploaded there in a while.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I forgot you have one because he never used it. I have a TikTok, of course, Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram and things like that. So we're just busy with real life. Life is real, and there's a lot of change that happens all the time, especially when you have a child, and before you know it, you blink and it's 6 months later. And so just honestly trying to keep harmony and peace and not get overwhelmed or stressed out about anything. Mm-hmm. I would like to say that I'm great with multitasking, but honestly, I'm not. Mm-hmm. I really like to be able to focus on one thing at a time and give it my best effort and focus than trying to juggle 10 things at a time and then just burn out at the end. I've done that in the past. Mm-hmm. And I've always burned myself out, and then I lose my, esteem and desire, and then I go through fall into this deep hole of just like, oh, I'm just done. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm learning how to take life piece by piece in stages, enjoy that moment, be in that moment, and then move on to the next thing.
Thank you, Georgia. Thank you for watching.
Hey, Georgia.
But and so I guess to sort of review what's going on the channel, we're still uploading videos periodically, mostly clips from some of our older teachings. We're going to start doing these drop-in live chats more often to talk with you guys face to face, give you a chance to ask questions, us to answer them, and talk about different concepts that's rolling around our spirits. JCTV, the 24/7 live stream TV network, is rolling on the channel at all times. So anytime you want a dose of Jalen and Cacie, just hop in and watch. And, as we do these live chats, we'll ask you guys, what are some ideas for content you want to see on JCTV? And then there is also How to Be Single and Happy, Cacie's book. Make sure you download that. Go to jalenandcacie.com. The link is in the description of this video. And support in that way and share that book with someone, because it could be very life-changing. But there's more to come from us. And love you guys. We're constantly thinking about you. Yeah.
So happy New Year, happy Valentine's Day.
If
you don't get to say happy Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and we're excited about it. Today's a special day.
Oh shoot, yeah.
Yeah, because today is literally the date 7 years ago that we officially confirmed our relationship.
Yep.
And it's like, wow, it's been 7 years that we've been a couple, and I can remember that day so vividly. It was crazy. It was a Wednesday night Bible study, and it's a long story how we kind of led up to that moment, but it's funny how when you realize something's actually happening. I've been knowing Jalen for a long time, he's known me for a long time, and we have never been weird around each other at all. Like, it was just like business as usual. But the moment that it became apparent that we're going to do this thing. I got butterflies. I was just like, my brain went to mush. I didn't know how to look at him. Like, I just did not. And I can remember it was Wednesday night Bible study. I got the church before he did, and I was in the booth because I was the media director at that time. And the whole time I knew he was coming. I was like, I'm trying to fill out my offering envelope before he gets here. I just wanted to be ready. And the moment he came around that corner, it was just like, it was so stupid.
You were so not ready.
I was so not ready. And when I get really nervous or just, I start laughing or I can't talk. Like, I left the booth and I actually started talking to your brother, and your brother was laughing at me the whole time because he realized, this is crazy. Why are you nervous? It's just Jalen. But I'm like...
And I think before I even said much to you, I think I went and talked to your dad first to confirm, to get some questions answered, because I was trying to do this perfectly right.
I know you were trying.
I was not trying to mess this up, you know. But yeah, it was funny. You were so cute that day.
I know I did. I took time to do my hair and put my makeup on just right. It was just like...
You had a little butterfly, little thing in your hair.
But I was just like, this is Jalen. My brain was telling me, it's just Jalen. It's just Jalen. You've been working with Jalen like all this time. You know
heart.
So this is like our Valentine's Day. This is today's the 4th.
Hey, Jamaica.
This is the 4th, and so this is our together day, is what we call it. And yeah.
Which was right before Valentine's Day. Like the next week I was like, I gotta get you something Valentine's.
Yeah, so our first Valentine's together was like a rush job.
Yeah.
Trying to find appropriate, Valentine's gifts, and it was funny, and not knowing how to really interact with each other that way. It was really crazy. Yeah. It really, really was. And being chaperoned with your parents. Yeah,
my dad's actually in the chat. He remembers that day.
Oh, it was.
And hey, Kenya, thanks for watching, Kenya.
It was funny.
Yeah. Oh man.
What'd you get me? You got me this big giant rose balloon.
Yep.
You got me a heart-shaped donut.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got me a card.
Florida.
You got me a Valentine's card.
Yep. Did I get you, was there any kind of teddy bear or something? I feel like there was some little animal.
You got me. I know I got you a monkey.
Oh, that's what it was.
I got you a little Valentine's.
What did we name the monkey?
J Monkey.
J Monkey.
J Monkey.
Where is he these days?
J Monkey's upstairs. He's up there.
Okay.
I saw him recently.
Oh man. Yep. You did give me a monkey. That was funny.
It was crazy. And I came into your parents' house and everybody was eating breakfast and I'm just there and I'm like,
how do we act now? How do we behave?
I remember my parents was like, you can tell you love them. I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm gonna need y'all to stand behind the line. But yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. But
it don't seem like it's been that long ago.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Like it feels like it's been a long time, but yet not a long time. It just seems like it's been forever.
There's also the anniversary of me. A couple of days before that, I just started my first job.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal too. So a lot of life changes.
Yeah, really quickly.
Whenever we do things.
Yeah, and things just started just changing so quickly, so fast, and here we are, a whole 7 years later, got a kid and everything, and still developing and still growing. And there's still a lot of big things happening that we don't talk about. Some things we can't really talk about just yet, but some major stuff is changing for our family and for us. And God has just been so good, and I'm just so...
God is faithful.
He is very faithful.
That's the one consistent. We had a lot of changes in our lives, obviously.
Yeah.
Ups and downs, things like that. But the one constant is that God is faithful.
God is always faithful.
He's faithful to His word.
I mean, I'm so proud of Jalen for the work he's invested in his spiritual development as a man, as a husband. And it's paying off. Like, it is literally paying off. Our family is in a very stable place right now. And, all the things that you all have heard us minister over this platform over the last, 3 years, 4 years now? Has it been 4 years?
It's been longer than that. When we started 2018?
When did we start this channel?
2018.
Really? Something like that?
So that'll make it 4 years.
Yeah, I think it's been about 4 years now. All those things that we've ministered about, we've put into practice. And trust me, sometimes when I hear the message over again, I had to check myself and make sure, are we still doing that? Are we still living up to that? Because, life happens and you can let stuff slip and you can forget principles, things like that. But I'm just thankful for the consistency in that area. And this made a big difference in our lives. And, on a real note, I feel like Jalen's better than me.
What?
I just do. You just,
What though?
I don't know. I just do. I just feel like you love better than me. You're more consistent than me. You're just good all the way around.
Okay, well, if there's any principle there, as a leader, I should lead in those different areas, but I wouldn't say that I'm better than you. And I was actually about to compliment you now, especially the past several months here. Well, no, I was going to give you straight from from the moment you got pregnant to now, just the whirlwind of changes for you. I kind of see it like this: we go through changes together, obviously, since we're married. But I feel like they hit you the hardest. I'm not saying like in a negative thing, but you experience them the most, and you have a lot that you have to be able to give to make those adjustments. So for having JJ, you had to give your body. When your dad passed, that hits you closest to home. It hit me too, and even having to come and stay home and be a stay-at-home mom now, you've had to make a lot of adjustments in your life and over the course of our marriage, even more than I felt. I feel like I pretty much been doing the same thing I've been doing from day one, and growing and developing in it and maturing in it, hearing the voice of God. But I kind of got the same job, the same occupation straight through. But you've had to make a lot of changes. You had to make a lot of adjustments over the course of this marriage. I think that's kind of the perspective of being a woman in a marriage, is that I think y'all go through the most changes and the most shifts in kind of responsibility and how you tackle things sometimes. And sometimes you're kind of unsung heroes in that way. But I've watched you handle these changes, and I've watched your maturity, your emotional stability during all these things. You're not the same person you were back in 2016 when we got married.
No, that is definitely true.
And you're very emotionally stable, and you're strong, and you're a rock of consistency that I can count and depend on, and JJ can count and depend on. And you've handled all these changes of becoming a mother and handled it in stride. And I've watched other people who become first-time moms. Hey, Jamaica, become first-time moms. And not to take anything away from them, but it could be a struggle making that adjustment, especially when you're an entrepreneur, someone who's a strong worker in the workplace, and you're an entrepreneur. And to be able to make that shift and that adjustment, it's not always easy for everyone, and they don't always do it very gracefully, but you've done it very well. And I know that you had your challenges, and we talked about that on our podcast. You've had your challenges and doubts you had to struggle with, but you've handled it very well. And I've watched
But it's just a team effort, because again, you made it very easy for me to be able to do that. Gave me the space to grow, to develop, and to go through these changes gracefully, and I felt that strength, because there were times where it was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, pretty much learning a new identity, and see, I feel like we're about to go into something,
might as well.
Keep it, trying to keep it light for now, but going through all those changes from getting pregnant to, and everything's happening back to back. We got pregnant, the excitement of pregnancy, yay! Yeah. And then COVID hit, and then my business shut down because of COVID. And it was a choice to stop, but it was like, I felt like stuff was just moving, and I didn't have control. And for the first time in my life, I really, 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 really had to trust God. And I had to trust my husband for real, for the very first time, like completely. And just learn how to sit back and let God take care of me in a real way. And that was definitely a big lesson for me to learn. And now, I don't stress about hardly anything anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, it's not that I'm not aware stuff is happening, and we talk about things, but I really have just chosen, you know what? God got me. Like, I am good. My focus now is my son. My son, our son, is our son, and listening for God as to what is the next steps, and in business and things like that. Because I am an entrepreneur, and that's always something that God put in me,
Mhm.
and you're talking about now how to relaunch and do things, but I'm in no rush. I'm in no hurry. Because I enjoy this piece that I have
Yeah.
now, and I don't want anything wrong with me of that. Trying to do stuff on my own.
Well, you had to learn to let go. You're a person that holds very tightly to
Yeah.
things, but you had to learn to let go of some things concerning yourself, with your physical health, with your business, and all of that. And I watched you do it, and as a result, you're blossoming. And that's what I think I'm enjoying the most. It's not even just that you've made a graceful transition; it's that you're blossoming. You're becoming more and stronger and greater. You're not now going into the background just because you're a stay-at-home mom. Oh, I'm just a mom now.
And you know,
You're actually blossoming in your
yeah,
identity.
and I really want to elevate that.
Yeah.
You know, when not recently actually, somebody asked me, "So what do you do?" I was at the gym,
Yeah.
and the young lady asked me, "So what do you do?" And I was like, "I'm a stay-at-home mom," and she had this look like, "Oh," like, and I took note of that response, and we have to really stop demonizing that term, like stay-at-home mom, like it's some little menial, anybody can do it. It's not,
Honestly, I think it should be called a work-at-home mom because you do a lot of work. That's a more accurate term. But you go continue.
I struggled with that at first, not because I didn't want to be a mother, not because I didn't want to be a wife or anything like that, but I remember coming to our relationship in the beginning, I was like, listen, I don't want to be that typical stay-at-home mom. I didn't want to wear that bad. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I want this. This is what I want to do. Da da da. I mean, I really had this hardcore plan. That's what I get for trying to be Jesus. So when everything did what it did, and I found myself a stay-at-home mom, it took me a little while to really accept that title and to understand that it's not a curse word. And that is something that it's amazing. It's awesome. Like all the things that I've learned in my life prepared me for this moment. So all the graces that God gave me for business and things like that, I'm now incorporating into my home and really just getting to understand what a Proverbs 31 woman is. Man, it's awesome. Again, it has its days. Like I told him just the other day, I was like, listen, I need some time off. Like I might have cashed in some of my PO here. Like I need a work day off. Like I do. And I do. I take those days off, you know, and he helps me with that. But it's just we really got to stop demonizing that because you're not lesser of a person because you're not in an office somewhere working. You're not lesser of a woman because you stay at home and you like it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I love being with my family and I love seeing my son. I'm thankful because there's so many women that I know that never got opportunity to really see those very minute but yet quick changes your child made.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, my son wakes up, he goes to bed one way, he wakes up a whole nother person. And it's like, oh my gosh, and it makes me fall in love with him so much more. And it's like, I'm so thankful that I'm here to see those things because honestly, life is too precious. Life is too, on this side of life, it's so fragile almost is the word I want to use. So I don't want to take for granted any moment that I have to spend with my family and help develop my son into a man of God and being able to instill in him the principles that was instilled in me growing up. And being able to help protect and preserve his soul from all the craziness that's going on in this world. I can't even imagine, especially where things are now, I can't even imagine sending my son off just trying to be this, trying to be that. I'm not coming down on anybody woman that works because, hey, women do it all the time. But for me, I'm thankful that I have this opportunity to do this. And I didn't know that I needed it.
Hey, South Africa.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know that I needed it.
Yeah.
Because I had one picture in my mind thinking this is the way I want to live my life. But I didn't know that this was the best thing for me.
Yeah. And I appreciate it. It's such a grace to my heart because I trust you with my son. And that sounds kind of obvious. Like, well, you just, but when you realize some of the alternatives and where he could be and who he could be with, and in this world today, I can rest easy knowing he is perfectly safe, not just physically safe, but emotionally, his mental development, his spiritual development. Yeah. I know he's 100% safe with you. I trust him with you. And I trust that the trust is so deep that when I come home, and I see something because, like you said, he changed every moment. So I've been gone for 8 hours of the day, and I come home and something a little bit different. I don't really know how to handle it per se in that immediate moment. I listen for your insight because you'll say, "Oh, he's just being this way today," or maybe I want to handle something in a more stern way. You're like, "Well, no, don't do that right now. He's just being this way." And okay, I'll back off and be like, "Okay, all right, I'll see. I don't know if you're right," but then I'll see it play out. I'm like, "Oh no, you're right. He just needed this. He just needed that thing." And so the trust to be able to have that, because if he was with someone else and neither of us knew exactly what was going on, it would feel like shooting in the dark. And again, people do it all the time, and a great, what's the word? Congratulations, but respect to everyone who does that, who can do that.
I mean, a lot of times people have to do that, so it's not a put down at all.
Yeah, but to be able to be in a position, be blessed and be in a position where this can be the way that we have it, it's great, and I'm blessed by that. And to something I'll text me like, "I miss y'all," or show me a picture of JJ and all that, and it's just peaceful, and it makes what I do, going out into the world on a daily basis and working and doing those things, and knowing that you don't have to do that, and JJ doesn't have to be in someone else's care, in someone else's hands. It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it 100 times. I'll do it 100 times over. And when I'm out there, like I said, I have my days. I don't feel like it. Man, I don't want to come to this job. I'd rather be home right now. But it's a quote unquote sacrifice. But I mean, it's a part of my responsibility, and I enjoy what I do. I really do. But in that the way of thinking of it, sacrifice, I'm willing to make 100 times over. But God has blessed us, and neither of us are toiling in our lives right now.
No, we're not, and that's something you don't realize you're toiling a lot of times until you're not toiling.
Yeah.
You hear that term a lot. Don't toil. Don't toil. The Bible says don't toil. But we don't even know what that really means or feel like. It's like when you've never felt good because you're sick all the time. You don't have a reference as to what feeling good is until one day you wake up and you're like, "Oh my God."
I need to talk about that. We got so many different things we'll talk about in these live chats, but I've been on a personal mental journey, like a mental health journey, and that's a big thing. When you don't know what it's like to feel okay, and then you do feel okay, you feel good.
It feels strange to feel good.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, what was I missing out on? And then it's like, and then your heart goes out to people who are like, dang, there's so many people missing out on this. I think that's why it's important what we do and why we continue to do it. Because that is majorly important.
Because we want to show people that we're not trying to suggest that everybody's marriage is going to look exactly like ours, or how you met may not be exactly like ours, or the whole age gap thing. We get a lot of questions about that still to this day. And our focus is this: we want you to have the marriage that God intended for you to have. And that's what we want. There are some principles and things that God put in the Word that it is for the believers to research and to find out, to get our revelation about marriage and then apply it to your marriage. I believe every couple is unique. Every couple has its character. Yeah. And it's up to you to develop that character and find out what that is. And we're just sharing that perspective from our perspective, how God put us together. And if you're listening with a hearing ear and with a hearing heart, you'll be able to hear the revelation that God is bringing to you for your marriage, for your relationship, for your life. And because again, we're not Jesus, we're not the Holy Spirit. We can't change anyone. But we love marriage so much because we know that it is the foundation, though. It's the foundation for strong families. It's the foundation for a strong community, for strong government. Without strong marriages, nothing else will succeed. And that's the honest truth. And if you look back in history, you will see that when the decline of families began to happen, the decline of government followed. The decline of the economy followed. The decline of education for our children. The decline of morality. Everything began to decline when we begin to see more broken families, more broken homes. It's a pattern because everything successful starts on the foundation of marriage. Exactly. And from marriage comes family and so forth. And so when we see people struggling in marriage, it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like an indignation comes upon me in a way. I want marriages to work because I know it can work.
Exactly.
When you do it God's way, I know it can work.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen for so many other people, and I've seen how God has developed us. And in 6 years of our marriage, like, and we don't claim to know it all. We still got things to learn. We still have development, but from where we started to where we are now, it's an amazing difference. Like, I know I love my marriage. I know I love my husband. Like, the trust level has gone up. The peace level has gone up. Our love has gone up. Like, everything is just so different because we decided that this is worth fighting for.
Well, that's how you know a marriage is working, is if those things are increasing.
Yeah.
And when I look at the people whose marriages that I, respect and would want to model in a sense to say I want to be like that, those were marriages that their love changed. I remember watching your parents, our pastors, and I remember, your father, he might have been teaching from the pulpit or just sharing amongst family about how he said his love changed dimensions for your mom.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been married for, I don't know how many years.
40 years.
About 40 years. Okay, wow. And that's the kind of thing that I want to see for us, for myself, is that kind of love, that kind of marriage where you start on day one versus year 40, it was increase. There's no stagnation.
Yeah.
It's constantly growing. I'm a person of progress. Mm-hmm. I believe in progress and in growth. And so even on my job, I kind of track my progression of whether or not I am increasing based on my positioning in my job. Like, if I go a year and nothing's changed, whether it be in my compensation or in the kind of role that I'm playing in, whether it be like promotion, that sort of thing, and it's changed about a year, then I check myself and say, okay, Jalen, are you stagnating? Something should be increased. You shouldn't just be doing the same thing you were a year ago, making the same amount of money you were a year ago. There should be growth. And I kind of take that in everything in life, but it's I can see you looking at me right now.
I'm sorry, but sometimes
I'm glad you can still look at me that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
But in marriage, I believe the same principle. A year from wherever you are today, there should be growth.
Yeah.
The love should increase. The trust should increase. The faith and the grace and the anointing that's on y'all should increase. These things should increase year to year. And it's definitely done that with us. And, you say we have a lot to learn. And the way we know that is because we're constantly learning.
Yeah.
We're constantly learning more and more. And so what's great about, we make these videos on YouTube and everything is whatever we taught in 2018, we're still got something to talk about here in 2022 because we've learned something new. Yeah. And we just build on that foundation as we go. We're not afraid to be wrong. We may have to go back and correct something we've said because we've learned some new dimension to it. Yeah. That's fine. That's great. That means we're learning. It means we're growing. And, for everyone who's watching, we want you to grow along with us. And I think we tend to appeal to people who are either single or newly married. And, we have some people who's watched us and gotten married while watching us and used some principles. And we love hearing those stories. So it's great, but just keep watching and keep learning.
Yeah.
And pursue it for yourself.
Yeah.
We started by watching some teaching on YouTube, but then we started pursuing it for ourselves. And the Lord begins to awaken revelation in us, and God's going to begin to awaken revelation in you. And just constantly be developing, whether you're single, whether you're married, whatever relationships you have in your life, on your job, constantly be developing. Never stagnate and accept that where you are is just good enough. Yeah. No, always keep growing. We have a mandate from God to continue to grow up into the image of Christ and to be imitators of God as dear children. And so that's going to, that means growth. That means constant progression. And that's what it is for us.
Yeah, and just kind of going back to having our son, to me, it became even more important for us to have a stable relationship. Because I want my son and our future children to see two people able to work together in harmony with the plan of God. I want them to see two people that can have conflict and yet learn how to and know how to respect one another. I want them to see what love looks like through us, because your children, as they're developing their walk with God, it may not be as, I'm trying to find a word, like you are their God. When they're that little,
Mm-hmm.
they look up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, and your job is to direct them to God.
Yeah.
Okay, but at this very crucial and very vulnerable stage in their life, they only see you.
Yeah.
And they don't have the ability to process and divide what's wrong, what's good, what's evil, things like that. All they see something, and we can imprint on our children habits and reactions and responses by how we act and how we respond. You know, nobody's perfect, and I'm not saying we're gonna get it right all the time, because I'm sure there's gonna be areas in our raising our children that we're gonna maybe falter in. That's why the grace of God exists. Praise God for that. But I want to do my best to not project on my children our issues, our problems. So let's not have issues and problems. Let's fix them. Let's fix as many as we can, so our children can see what it looks like to be whole and be stable and to be happy and go, and two people that know how to go to God when we have problems and things like that. I want them to learn that from us, because it's a lot of stuff going on around the world, and they can try to get their cues off of Hollywood, to get the cues off of this person or their peers or whatever, and those things are failing daily. But I want them to say, my dad and mom, this is what they did to overcome. This is what they did to succeed in life. And I know for me and for my parents, they wanted to be the biggest influence in our lives as children. And they were, for me anyway, I can speak for myself, they were. And even with their faults and their mistakes and things like that, I saw two people that would get back up and go again. And they never gave up on each other and never gave up on the word. And that's what brought them through each and every time. Yep. And I
got a similar experience with my parents.
And in spite, give up. And in spite of everything, they always came back.
Yep.
We fight for the word, and we fight for each other, no matter what. And I respect that the most. And no matter what I know, no matter what, that's what I will always remember them for. Yeah. That's the legacy they left me. And that's the legacy I want to leave for my children.
Yeah, and it's imperative that you do, because you're responsible. Your family is a garden, and it's very, for me as the husbandman of this family, and that's where you get the word husband from. As husbandman of this family, so this applies not only to you, but just talking when it comes to children is, when a gardener is given a seed, they're not the one that designed that seed, but they are the one responsible for making sure that the designer of that seed, when that seed blossoms, it becomes what the designer designed it to be. And so as a husbandman of this family, that's my responsibility when it comes to you, when it comes to my children, to make sure that the designer, God, that I present back to him what he designed. But as a husbandman, it is within my ability to damage and to destroy with my faults and problems. And that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to guide and to nurture, so that this garden can grow into a beautiful vineyard, and that beauty that everyone will see displayed, they'll probably credit me for it. They always credit the husbandman, but at the end of the day, that beauty, that's my glory, to be able to look at this family that God gave me and say, look, Lord, what you designed, I guided it by your direction, so that it could be presented back to you the way you designed it to be, so that it could feed the nations. The fruit that this garden, that this vineyard bears, can bless the world and bless people. And so, as parents with children, that's what you're there to do. So you can't be causing the damage to this garden so that it becomes a poison to the world, or good for nothing and offering no fruit. So that's what becomes very important. So, becoming a parent really makes you zero in on yourself and say, okay, this isn't a game anymore. I can't be selfish.
You really can't. So if JJ brought anything to this, he brought a lot to this family. But, it gave us a new perspective and a new drive, and just, get your mess together, girl. Get your stuff together. Like, just get it together. Your son depends on you.
Hey, Jamaica.
Your family depends on you, and be strong, and you really can't afford to crumble and fall apart. growing isn't always easy and it doesn't feel good all the time. But I look at my son. I mean, when he's teething, I know he's in pain, you know, and it's not easy for him going through these stages sometimes and not understanding how to manage his emotions. But that's how we look a lot of times when we're spiritually developing, you know, we're teething and we're going through all these emotional changes.
I will say, watching a baby, it kind of gives you just compassion for
God.
God having to deal with us.
Yes.
But no, because it was just, was it 2 days ago? I don't know. He was just so emotional.
Yeah.
He was, I don't know if it was a mixture of tired and hungry, but he's sitting there and we're feeding him the food and he's in tears, putting the food in his mouth, just like bawling. And we're like, son, why are you crying? So, you know, we picked him up and we just held him and continued to feed him and everything. It was like he was just so emotional. I don't know what's going on. I guess he had a rough day, but
I know he go from one extreme to the next and it's like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. God, this is how you deal with us all the time? Like,
I know we be throwing tantrums and just acting all out of sorts and not trusting. Sometimes we be watching, he be crying for food. I'm like, son, I'm preparing the food for you right now. Relax, it is coming. But yeah, it does give you perspective on God. Like, is this how we look to you, Lord? When we complain and don't trust and all that. But it's funny, but he's a beautiful little boy, I tell you. He just captures the attention of everyone he meets.
Mm-hmm.
Who just love him and constantly giving him stuff and just all in his face. But he's a beautiful little boy. Love him very much. So yeah, being parents is a whole new journey. We have a lot to talk about in that regard. We're gonna be those people that always talk about the kids.
Yeah, we try not to, but it's hard not to talk about your kids all the time. But yeah, we didn't come up here with any plans to talk about anything in particular. Again, we just wanted to just come in because we know it's been a while since you've seen a current version of us, and we literally came in from shopping, grocery shopping. So yeah, my husband was like, "Let's do a live." I'm like, "What? Do a live? I'm not ready to do a live." But here we are. We're doing this live, and we just want to say how much we love you all, and the support and the prayers, and again the comments. We love them, even the bad ones. You know, listen. Everybody's not going to like and agree with what we do, and that is completely fine. We have love for you too, because you know what? People change their minds sometimes. You know, they really do. Mm-hmm. So we don't hate on anyone about that. We're so thankful and just grateful to be here and have the opportunity to share the love of God through this platform.
Oh yeah.
Again, we consider it a privilege and honor because no one owes us anything. Mm-hmm. No one has to tune in, and we don't expect it in the sense that, you know.
All right, be safe.
Yes. I don't know. We don't expect anything. We just doing what God called us to do, and that's it.
But for everyone who's here and that wants to support any way they can, the best way you can do that is continue to watch when we upload, tune into the lives, share our videos with someone you love, share it on your social media, tune in to JCTV and leave suggestions on content to produce for it, and buy Cacie's book, How to Be Single and Happy, and all that. You know, just engage with whatever we're doing.
Yeah. Even if you're not single. You know, I had some friends say, well, can I read the book? Yes, read the book. Because I feel like a lot of people didn't start right. They didn't know these things before they got married. Mm-hmm. And sometimes going back and getting a perspective, it can help you tweak and correct some of the things and how you're responding within your relationship now. So,
well, you may be in an algebra or geometry class, but it would help if someone did go back and teach you addition. So
I don't like math, but yeah, what he said.
So even if you stop, I'm not single anymore, learning some things you might have missed is going to be very helpful. Look, I think talk about in future chats, but the things I've learned recently about my own childhood has helped me as being an adult now.
Yeah.
Things that I wish I had learned back then. So, you know, it's never too late to relearn some things.
But you have to know what went wrong in order to correct where you are right now. Mm-hmm. So, you know, again, if you're not single, you're married right now, or you're engaged, whatever, still get the book, you know, because I believe something you can learn in that.
And gift it to somebody else who's single in your life, you know. If you get that PDF version, you can just share it with someone you love, and buy it on Amazon. They'll let you can actually buy it as a gift for someone. Mm-hmm. So again, go to JalenandCacie.com, links in the description below, check it out. And we appreciate it. We love you guys so much.
It's been a whole hour almost.
I know.
We've been here for a whole hour. It goes by so fast.
It's fun. We like talking.
We do like talking. So thank you guys for those of you who were able to tune in, even though we didn't make an announcement about this.
Yeah.
We wish you a very prosperous and happy new year. Stay tuned to the channel. We have some things coming this year, and we would just love you guys to be a part of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I fully intended for us to use microphones on this live, and I completely forgot about it until just this moment exactly.
Wow. So
But everybody's been commenting
y'all
on
hear us?
privacy. I must be able to hear us pretty well.
But we have good phones now.
We do. Yeah. I fully intended to do that, but I just completely forgot until just this moment. But anyway, guess I'm ready to even say anything. But we love you guys, and we'll see you real soon.
Yeah.
Real soon.